Hello. So, Three Body Problem is finally here on Netflix. If some of you have been around for a while watching my videos, the very first video I ever made was about Three Body Problem, the book. And I've been waiting for this TV show to come out for forever. I think I made that first video in like summer 2020. And then they announced the adaptation like not too long after that. So it's been a long time coming, and per suggestion of my girlfriend, she thought maybe I should do like an episode by episode breakdown or just my thoughts about the episodes. I've only watched the first one so far, so I kind of just wanted to get on here and share some thoughts about it. So first of all, and again, don't watch this if you don't want any spoilers. I've read all three books. It's been so long since I've read them that I don't really remember what's like a spoiler for certain things and what's not. So if you really don't want to know like anything about it, like skip this video, come back later after you've watched it. So yeah, the first episode, I will say the opening scene where it's in China during the Chinese Cultural Revolution, perfect. It was pretty much exactly how it's described in the book and exactly how I had imagined it in my head. It made me really excited that they didn't stray away from that part of the story. Obviously, there's some changes that I'll talk about in a little bit that they did make to the story. But with that said, if they were to have taken all the stuff around the Chinese Cultural Revolution and Red Coast Base and like, you know, moved it to, I don't know, Portland or something, it would have kind of taken the soul out of it for me. So super glad they kept that in. The rest of what they're doing is maybe, I don't know. I think with adaptation, right, like it's this balance between trying to pay homage to the source material, trying to stay faithful to it to a certain extent, but then it is an adaptation, right? And I do think that adaptations, for the most part, shouldn't be like one-to-one copies of the source material that they're adapting. I think a really good example of an adaptation that makes a lot of choices that are different than the original is the adaptation of Annihilation that Alex Garland did. Annihilation as a book is very good, but it's kind of unfilmable. I know that's not like a real thing, but with that said, the changes that he made from the book for the movie, I think really served like a visual medium, and also just for pacing reasons, right? So with Benioff and Weiss, who are adapting this for Netflix, along with this other guy who I don't really know much about. I think he was a creator on True Blood, which I haven't really watched. What they've done is taken the story for Three Body Problem, and they say they are sort of like globalizing it and like making it a more global cast. And I get that, like the sort of existential threat of the book is global. You've got like, you know, maybe I won't say too much, but like the threat that exists around the globe. It's not just something that is affecting Chinese people. So in that sense, it's kind of fair to expand the cast into more of an international thing. So, you know, that's well and good. I do also think that that is strategic on Netflix's part. I think you do get a wider audience of people being like, hey, I look like that person in this show, so I'm going to watch it. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I do think that the changes they've made in that regard haven't been bad so far. They've basically taken the main character from the books and split him into several different characters. And what that allows the story to do is to give you more people to interact with and more people to know in the story. There's a better chance for characters to develop. It gives more people to interact with each other. I think a lot of what happens to the protagonist in the first book is in his head a little bit. And so, you know, taking him and spreading him across a few different people allows for like conversations to happen, which is nice. And what it also does is for pacing, right? It allows things to move a little bit more quickly, because these things that are happening to one person or another, if they were happening to the same person, it would have to be a little bit more sequential. But in at least the first episode, you've got like some things going on concurrently that, you know, it makes the story move a little bit more freely. I think my overall impression is like good so far. These books are some of my favorite books that I've ever read in my life. You know, I liked them so much that I made a YouTube channel talking about them. So, you know, I feel like I'm a little extra sensitive to the quality of this adaptation, and it's like, it's not my baby, but it's a baby I'm interested in. So yeah, all good so far. I'm hoping that they keep true to the story, and I hope that, you know, even though they are going to deviate quite a bit, they don't lose the plot. Like, they don't lose the whole reason that the story was written. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen in episode 2. I'm kind of bummed that they dropped the whole thing at once. Like, I know that's just how TV works nowadays, but I don't know. I kind of like watching things week to week. Like, it gives me something to look forward to. And even, you know, on a selfish level for like content creating purposes, you know, people's attention span kind of stays hooked for a little bit longer if you spread them out across several weeks. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but yeah, if you watched the episode, let me know. I am watching the show with my girlfriend, so we're gonna watch episode 2 pretty soon, and then I'll get on here and talk about that as well. But yeah, you know, I don't want to say too much. I know that in that first 3 body problem video I made like years ago, I got comments underneath it being like, oh, spoilers, 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 which, you know, my opinion on spoilers is a little bit different than most people's. Like, I'm not as bugged out about it. I think Stephen King has a pretty good quote about spoilers, but anyway, yeah, let me know what you thought. I'm going to get in there, watch the second episode soon, and I will talk to you then. Bye-bye.